We have some stormy waters to navigate coming up, but thankfully we also have the presence, the intention, and the mindfulness. Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. I feel like I haven't done this in so long. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel we talk about spirituality, self-development, and so much more. And a couple of times a month, I like to tap into the collective consciousness and to what's happening in the cosmos in order to feel into the energy that's being offered to us around the new and full moons. Today I want to share with you what the upcoming total lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio is offering to us, and also along with some other big players in the stars, things that we're experiencing right now that is going to affect your personal journey here on Earth. I'm going to talk about the full moon, the eclipse, some themes, things that we can look out for, predictions, warnings. We're also going to end with a few journal prompts and a card pull as always. It's going to help you to get the most of this energetic potentiality that we're being offered. And before we continue with today's reading, in my efforts of totally sponsoring myself in 2023, we're getting there, we really are. Today's video is sponsored by your favorite, me. If you're not familiar already, I create these beautiful talismans engraved with the Hebrew codes of creation, each one helping to amplify, enhance, and manifest the will of its wearer. So they protect you, they help you to create whatever it is that you desire, and they're a really beautiful spiritual tool along with gorgeous jewelry. The way you use these beautiful little pieces of art is you choose which one most closely aligns with where you are right now in life. But we also have ones that are specifically tailored to help you to manifest wealth, health, love, balance, peace of mind, fertility, creativity, or a boost or a reorientation of your energy. The one that I recommend for anybody that are really going through a rebirth right now is the Rising Amulet, because it really truly helps you tap into that cocoon, into butterfly energy in which we are dying to parts of ourselves and just being reborn to something even more magnificent and beautiful. And then you choose whether you want the mini or the original. The original is what I'm wearing right here. I'm wearing solid 14 karat yellow gold. You can choose what element you'd like it in, if you're a rose gold goddess, or if you're a white gold angel or yellow gold siren. And if you want sterling silver coated, plated with 18 karat solid gold, or if you want pure gold, you have many options over there. Whatever it is, we've got it for you. And then when you get it, you set your intention as you put your necklace on or your earrings. It's going to carry your intention wherever you go. It's going to empower you and to deflect any evil eye, any negative energy away from you. Over the years, I've gotten thousands of testimonials. We started to post them on our Instagram at Alchemy by LA of just the sheer beautiful and powerful energy that these amulets carry. And it honestly shocks me every time, even though it shouldn't at this point. They're just really powerful little magical tools. And I want you to get your own little piece of magic to carry around with you too. So today, because I'm sponsoring my own video, I want to give you 10% discount on your entire order, even if you buy solid gold, which becomes a future artifact, an heirloom. You can pass it on to your children, grandchildren, future great-grandchildren. So just use the code Scorpio in honor of the Scorpio full moon to get 10% off your entire order. The link will be down below. And this promotion ends on the 7th at 11:59 p.m. We often sell out of our stock before the sale is over. So if you've been meaning to get your own, I would jump over there and do that. And thank you for supporting a US-based business, female-owned, it's me, spiritual businesses. I appreciate you so much, and now let's get into the video. So if you're like me, you might be trying to just catch your breath during the eclipse season and Mercury retrograde, and now we have Pluto retrograde also. I know it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been for me, hasn't been for the people, for some of you that I've spoken to. Some people seem to just be gliding through, and that's amazing. I do think that people with Scorpio and Taurus and also Gemini and Cancer, from my understanding in their charts, may have been feeling the waves a little bit more. Let me know if that's true, if that's the case for you in the comments. I want to know if my case study is correct. Yeah, things are coming from the past hard and fast, and they really want to be dealt with. So whenever we have these challenging moments or these moments in the cosmos that are offering us opportunities to review, it's always for us, right? It's always to have us be able to kind of catch up, allow the past to catch up, allow everything to catch up, and finally process and sit with things. And that's what I'm feeling we're receiving right now. It's also this energy, I'm gonna get into it, but it's also this energy of really blossoming, of moving out of the victim mode that we may have been in for a while, a victim to ourselves or to a relationship or a situation, and really take what we've learned from it and become heroes. I'll talk more about that. What's really important is to know that there's this energy right now that really wants to be released. Something is really ready to be let go. We've been holding on to it, almost allowing it to become a part of our personality, a part of our character. And it's really time to just let it go. Just let that thing go. And I'll talk about how we can do that, of course. If we don't acknowledge these things, if we don't acknowledge what it is that needs to be surrendered, it's just going to continue to torment us and to come back up throughout these cycles. But it's time for this cycle to end. We're nearing that time with this eclipse season where it's time to let it go. And we're at an impasse, and we can choose to keep going at it the three-dimensional way where we just don't break the cycle and we keep going through it again and again and again, and maybe somewhere down the line, years down the line, then we learn the lesson, or we go through it the spiritual path with consciousness and intention and mindfulness, and we can really bring consciousness to whatever situation is plaguing us and to finally transcend it and transform ourselves into who we're meant to become once we've broken this cycle. I found a quote that I think sums up the energy of this upcoming full moon total lunar eclipse, and I think it can light the way for us, and so I wanted to share it with you. It's by C. Joy Bell C. The only way that we can live is if we grow. The only way that we can grow is if we change. The only way that we can change is if we learn. The only way we can learn is if we are exposed. And the only way that we can become exposed is if we throw ourselves out. So it's really this energy right now that I'm feeling of just allowing yourself to be raw, opened, and vulnerable. Things might hurt and might be really scary to be so vulnerable, but you kind of toughen from that. Your heart becomes more open. And I'm going to say this later on in the video. It's something about like we break and our heart breaks, but for a cause. And then when we come back together, we're a more broader vessel and we can hold more that we want to receive. So being really courageous and allowing yourself to break. So this full moon is really about being exposed and secrets being exposed and our shadow world coming to the surface to be reckoned with. Like, look at me. I'm your shadow. Look at me. Acknowledge me. I'm a part of you too. Stop ignoring me. Something in us that we don't want to be, and we don't want to have it be part of our personality, whether it be jealousy or anger or resentment or whatever it is, something that we don't like, people pleasing, and we've pushed it so far down. It's time to look at it and it's time to work through it. That's what we're doing, right? We're growing and learning and changing from the inside out. So full moons, as we know, are a time of heightened light. We have more of the moon's light. And so the illumination of the full moon is going to bring things that were previously in the shadows to the surface, to the light. So really good time for shadow work. And we have the Scorpio energy, which is like the underworld. We have Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto retrograde. This is the time to go into our depths. This is a deep and intense full moon. And this full moon is going to bring us clarity on things that have been hidden, perhaps hidden inside of us or hidden inside of our friend or partner or whatever, our other person, perhaps hidden inside of the relationship. And it's time for it to come out so that it can be dealt with. And that clarity is going to come when something such as newer information, light is shed maybe on a secret. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything bad, like something bad happened, but more so like maybe you're opening up more and sharing more, right? You're sharing more of your inner world. And that's good right now. It's good. It's good to do that. And once this hidden information is revealed, once it's brought to consciousness, we're going to have the full picture finally. We're going to see things more clearly and we can deal with them more rationally, but not until after the full moon. So some sort of secret or hidden knowledge is coming out in our lives. Scorpio rules this hidden shadow world, right? The underworld. So this is really a highly emotional full moon. Full moons in general are highly emotional, but when we have a Scorpio, coming from a Scorpio and moon myself, you're going to feel all the feelings. You're going to feel everything during this full moon. Anything that you've been running from is coming to catch up with you, and you better make some space for it. It's time to process. The Scorpio feels their way through life. They don't know anything rationally. They just feel it, right? It's intuition. It's a knowing, an inner knowing. And we want to borrow from that energy in order to transmute whatever is coming up for us around this full moon to help our spiritual journey. The things that we are being offered can break us or they can make us. And as spiritual, conscious, aware people, we always want to allow them to make us into expanded, more conscious beings. Always good, even if it's uncomfortable. Take time to sit with your emotions and with whatever rises, especially before acting on anything, especially around the 4 days around the full moon. So 2 days before, 2 days after. I'm feeling even 3 days before the full moon. I want you to take time for yourself to observe, to review how you're feeling. Literally remove yourself from a heightened situation. The time is not to be attacking or to throw around things that you don't mean. We want to just kind of get space from things, right? You can return to whatever needs to be dealt with a few days after, once the energy begins to wane. So that might mean going to another room, right? Close the door and just sit with your feelings for a little bit. Or it might mean going on a walk and processing and quiet contemplation. Maybe you want to try out the new emotional processing meditation I put out. I'll link it down below. I shared it a couple weeks ago here on YouTube for free. It's going to help you work through the energy in 10 minutes. Just sit with your emotions to become more balanced, more harmonious, more whole. Just because things are going to be heightened and intense and emotional, that doesn't mean that it's going to be necessarily negative, right? It doesn't have to be negative. This is just something that we kind of have to surf the waves rather than resist against it. And if you surf the waves, it's gonna be kind of funny and enjoyable. You can bring some sort of brevity to it, laugh about it a little bit, because it's gonna feel so serious. So one of the best ways to deal with things like that is to face them head on and also to laugh a little bit, right? This full moon can also be very sexy and very mystical. It's a good time for spiritual work. And also, since we're in Taurus season, is a time for embodiment practice, sitting with your emotions and also moving them around, doing body work, doing breath work, which I think that we're going to, by the way, do a little sound bath and breath work workshop around the full moon. If I decide to do that, I'll link it down below so you can grab a ticket. Remember, those sell out in about a day, so I want you to be there. Make sure to get there early. This time is even good for relationships. So if you ride the wave of your emotions, just ride it, flow the cosmic bliss, rather than tense up against them and try to control things. You're going to coast through it. You're going to do okay. You really will. And I've seen this happen firsthand. I've seen people super affected by these highly intense and emotional eclipses and full moons. And the ones of us who have been aware and have known what's coming for them can always just take a beat, take a breath, observe, and work the energy rather than have the energy work them. The energy of the full moon and total lunar eclipse combined with the Pluto retrograde can create a really potent environment for spiritual growth and spiritual development. So this is a really good time for meditation. This is a really good time for just looking at yourself, shadow work, introspection, and exploring your spiritual practices. So doing your weird things around this time. Astral project. It might be really interesting right now. So yes, if you want to be a part of the sound bath and breath work that I host live for a small group, I'll post that down below. It'll be a really safe and loving place to sit with your emotions and work through them with your community. I'll guide you through also some journaling, the breath work, and then the healing sound bath will be really nice. And now we're in Taurus season. So what's interesting about this full moon is that it's technically coming before the new moon. So usually what we have is we have the introduction of a new astrological season. Let's say it becomes Aries season, and then we'll have the new moon in Aries. But now the energy is shifting, and I believe it shifted last month. I didn't do an energy reading last month, and I had a hard time with the energy a little bit, so I'm not skipping those again. But what happens is now, instead of getting a taste of the energy right in the beginning of the month, we're kind of experiencing the transformation with the full moon, and then we get to manifest later on in the month once we become more familiar with the energy of the astrological season. So feel into this, because you're going to feel a change, and that change is coming with all the retrogrades in the eclipse season as well. Whatever you're feeling is absolutely valid. You're not alone, trust me. I've picked up a really big feeling of whatever you've been, this is what I was talking about earlier, whatever you've been dealing with quietly for a long time now, maybe a hidden battle or a struggle, and maybe you've shared about it with people a little bit, but largely it's gone unnoticed. Whatever it is, it's time for you to reveal it, either to the world or to your community or to your family, or just kind of to become more accepting of it. And in that acceptance, we move out of being victimized by it and into becoming sort of a voice of the healing of it for yourself and for other people. You become a champion for anyone else who's been struggling with similar things. And you're going to be supported in that right now and speaking out about these things. It's this theme of like whatever area in your life you felt victimized, whatever may have happened. Let's say it's your health, or maybe you've dealt with some sort of abuse, or your relationship with yourself or with the world, or with money or with love or with friends. Whatever it is, you're taking the lessons and the experiences that you've gone through, and you're realizing that you've been formed into somebody that could help others get through this as well. And it doesn't mean that you have to be completely healed in order to start helping people through your experience. You could still be on this journey like me and my journey with PMDD, how much I'm being formed by understanding that I'm not a victim, and instead that I can help so many people with my voice. And that's going to show up for you in whatever way, whatever thing you've been quietly dealing with, right? This new version of ourselves, this new formed version of you is no longer a victim, especially if you choose during this full moon to let go of that victim mentality. And when you do let go, we start to make space for our new role in the hero's journey, right? We blaze forward. What brought you down for so many years is suddenly your talking point. It's suddenly your stepping stone for success. Remember to continue to prioritize helping yourself, because you can't fill up from an empty cup. And to understand what the specific thing is, if nothing is coming up for you, during the Scorpio full moon, whatever is triggering you will likely shed light on what this thing is. So please let me know if you have any idea, or if after the full moon that comes to you, I want to know. Let me know in the comments, please. There's also something that began in November that is being revisited right now. It's something that's been difficult for you. It's a journey, a project, something you've taken on, maybe even a relationship, and it's not gone so smoothly. It's not going so smoothly because there needs to be some sort of pivot, some sort of new perspective on it. It, along with you, is transforming. Everything changes in life. It's transforming into something else. And you can mourn that, but you can also know that when the old version of it dies, something new can be reborn, and better than before even. And there's another big thing related to that I've picked up on, that there's a call for healing something inside of us right now. So there might be something that has brought you such deep sorrow that you felt it in the depths of your soul. It's even deeper than your heart. It's like the essence of who you are. And because of this pain, you've created some sort of bodyguard or protection mechanism. And this protection mechanism has built walls around your heart and your mind and your body, closed you up so that you can feel safe. And this full moon is asking us to excuse the bodyguard, to say thank you for all your help, thank you for all your work, but I've got it from here. I need to open my heart. I need to get vulnerable and raw, because when I'm vulnerable and raw, I give others permission to do the same, and I give others permission to really see me. And I can create really good work. I can really make a positive and powerful mark on this world. Can I let go of the bodyguard? Can I excuse it? Can I take a deep breath? Can I remember that I am safe in this moment, right? You are safe now. You are protected and you are guided. And you can release this protection mechanism because it's a false matrix illusion anyways. There's no such thing as protecting yourself and saving yourself. All you're saving yourself from is feeling the full depth of the human experience. So maybe if you've closed yourself off to love, to any sort of love, or to trying something new, can you let that protection mechanism go? Can you release it and just open yourself up to life? And you might actually want to right now, because this Scorpio full moon has this energy of like wanting to take a big bite of life. You're going to want to do things and be with people and go after something that kind of lights you up. And I recommend doing that. Go for it. I usually say save go for it energy for new moons. But if something is making you feel alive and passionate, I want you to go for it. And that might be that new relationship or a project or a creative pursuit or a travel opportunity or whatever it is. There's this feeling of just wanting to live bigly and deeply. And this might be an opportunity for you to do that. And I just want you to know that whatever it is that you choose to do, it's going to likely lead you into a journey of further transformation and wholeness and fullness of yourself, which as far as I'm concerned is a good thing. There's always deeper layers to revealing who we really are. We're constantly changing. On a much more positive note, this full moon is giving us a lot of inspiration, the possibility of new and exciting opportunities and doorways opening up to us. Just look for it. Look for the positive. Look for the good. Really recommend taking some time to yourself during this Scorpio full moon. Maybe doing these journal questions in nature somewhere that I'm going to offer you. Doing something for yourself. Becoming really honest with yourself around the full moon about what it is that you need right now. What it is you need in your life right now to feel good. I asked myself what it is that I really need right now in preparation for this full moon energy. And what I've picked up on is that I need more sleep lately. And I've been fighting it. But why fight it? My dog sleeps for 14 hours a day. In fact, I think we're nearing on 16 hours today with my little baby. But why can't I sleep a couple extra hours when my body is yearning for it and my spirit is yearning for it? I likely have some things I need to do in the astral realm, right? Ask yourself what you need. And maybe you need some time for yourself. Maybe you need some time in nature. Maybe you need to clean out your space or spend time with someone who uplifts you, or to feed yourself better, more healthy meals, more nourishing meals. Maybe you just need to binge watch TV shows for a day, whatever it is. Be honest with yourself and then give it to yourself full-heartedly to fill yourself up for the rest of the month, for the rest of the lunar cycle. Now, you know that we have all these retrogrades. We're still in Mercury retrograde, so things are going to be coming back up from the past. Expect old wounds, exes, financial situations, friends to rear their head back into your life. Remember that when these things do come up, it's simply for you to choose whether you want to revisit this or whether you want to break the cycle, right? So awareness, just awareness of what it is that you want and what you're ready for and what is the right move for you. But going into the cycle with awareness and intention and not just being swept away with it, right? Just a heads up, like I was saying, it's going to be a highly emotional time. Go with it. Don't fight against it. Feel everything. Howl at the moon. Scream and cry into your pillow. Run. Just try to make this journey within yourself. Don't take it out on anybody else. If you feel like you need to have a conversation with somebody, kind of sit with it. Around May 7th will be a better time for heart-centered conversations. However, keep in mind, we're still in Mercury retrograde, so communication with wires might be a little bit crossed. But around the 7th, we have this good opportunity for learning and expanding within a relationship. Learning about your partner, learning about yourself, and some sort of expansion around that time. So if you've been needing to work through something with someone, if you can do so in a rational and open-hearted way, around that time will be a really good time. And just be open to new ideas, be open to new perspectives, and this will be really powerful and beneficial. So I have a few journal prompts for you. Number 1, in what areas of my life have I been feeling victimized? And how can I shift my mindset to become the hero of my story? What have I learned from these moments of victimization? What sort of hidden struggles or battles have I been dealing with, and why am I hiding them from the world? What am I ready to let go of? What emotion have I been running away from and trying not to feel? And why? What am I ready to allow into my life? What am I ready to open up to? We're just going to finish up with a Rumi card pull to guide us during this energy, the Scorpio full moon, total lunar eclipse. People often ask me if they should manifest during the eclipses. I say no. The energy is just backwards and confusing. I also don't like to manifest on full moons necessarily. I like to plant my seeds during the new moons or waxing moons. But eclipse energy is really powerful. And I do think that there are people who can really utilize it and amplify their manifestations, but it could be very wacky and it could distort the energy. So maybe not the most benevolent time to manifest, but remember that we're manifesting at all moments with our words, our intentions, our thoughts, our feelings. So it's not like you ever stop manifesting. So I'm not telling you to stop thinking or anything around that lunar eclipse. But what I am saying is maybe do not do your manifestation rituals and ceremonies during the eclipse. Now let's see what message we have from our divine counterpart, our ally. So the card I pulled is Hand of Fatima or Fatima. I've always read it Fatima, but I've met people who have told me their names are Fatima. So please excuse me if I said that wrong. You already know I really like reading the guidebook with these cards because they just bring so much light, and I've always gotten such accurate readings from them. I can never leave you, not for a moment, not for an hour. You are in everything I do. You are my everything. My drink is your sweetness. I move to your command. I am a surrendered prey in your hands, and you are my consuming lion. Your soul and my soul are truly one soul. I swear to our one soul, I long for no one but you. In the garden of your grace, I am only a germinating sprout. The crown of my blooming is the desire to be in your arms. My hand watches over you. It brings you blessings and comfort, protection and grace. Radiant with divinity am I, and you are my child, my beloved, my angel, and my body too. I shall never leave you. Turn your inner eye to me and see the light of my grace in your heart. You cannot be harmed. You cannot be defiled. You can only ever be what you are, me alive, radiant with love. You are giving birth to more spirit than you have ever held before. During such times, a divine midwife can be helpful and supportive. This is Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, who reaches from the skies, who reaches up from within your body, from deep within the earth, and brings you the gift of protection, grace, and love. You are safe. You are held and you are bound within her warmth. She has received your prayers and she honors your devotion to life, to love, and to growth. These cards continue to be so exceedingly accurate to the reading. It's absolutely mind-blowing. She will help you. Ask for her blessing daily. What is being born in your life right now, in your own consciousness as a seed, perhaps of a new way of being, a new idea, belief system, philosophy, or sense of self, is going to come to maturity under the loving protection of the Divine Mother. You are also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts, perfect for Scorpio full moon time. Have some discernment about who you involve yourself with and how you choose to use your time and energy. Allow yourself to feel Fatima's guidance and comfort in you by giving yourself permission to be nurtured through your own choices and the people or situations you say yes or no to in your life. There's a way to honor her presence and allow her to help you, which she wishes to do in all ways possible. Love is all things you see, dearest angel. And that means saying no can mean saying yes to something greater. So give yourself permission to say your no and yes as dictated by your hearts. Beautiful guidance for us for this full moon. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, I'd really appreciate a comment, a thumbs up. And if you could share this with somebody who could use it, I love you so much. If you'd like to get your amulet for 10% off. The code is Scorpio. The link is in the description below. And if I do go ahead and do my sound bath and breathwork ceremony, I'll link that down below for you too. I love you, and as always, so much love, grace, compassion. Keep your vibrations way up.